ladies and gentlemen, welcome all again. Here is Uncensored Pillow Talk. Cecilia Castelli with you. And again, I don't even want to be talking because we have Damon Jacobs in our show. We had him a little while ago, but he's here again because there is a conference. Damon, tell me about it.
Hello, it's so good to be in bed with you again.
I know, I'm excited.
Oh, this is so great. I'm so excited to be here back in San Francisco for the very first ever PrEP Summit. It's a conference purely devoted to PrEP. Research, science, education, activism. It is sponsored by NMAC, which is the National Minority AIDS Council. And they usually do an annual AIDS conference every year, which is huge. Mm-hmm. This is a much smaller PrEP conference, but it's the first of its kind. And I'm going to be presenting.
Okay, this is amazing. Now, very short, for the people that didn't watch the other show, what is PrEP? Let's explain it really quick.
PrEP is a daily pill that prevents HIV. It's called pre-exposure prophylaxis. It's 99% effective if taken by any man or any woman every single day. Okay. But for me and for so many men and women that do take it, it has come to mean feeling proactive, responsible, and empowered about our pleasure.
Okay. How long has PrEP been out there? I forgot to ask you this question in the other show. I don't remember. How long has it been out there? When they discovered it and they started testing it in people, how long ago was this?
The main trial where we have most of our information about PrEP is called IPREX, and that began in 2007. And the results of that study, right, they were concluded at the end of 2010.
Okay.
So this has been out there. This has been available. It's all on the internet. It's all been published since the end of 2010. It was then approved by the American FDA on July 16th, 2012. So we are well over 4 years now into having PrEP in America be available and accessible and paid for.
Okay.
But a lot of people still don't know about it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about it. Now, one more question, Damon. I'm curious about other countries. Do other countries know about PrEP? What is it? Is it legal in other countries? Are people knowledgeable about this pill?
So strangely enough, and I say strange because I grew up in America where I think we're so conservative, but we were the first country to get on board with this and say, we want this, we're going to pay for it for the people who want it. Mm-hmm. Other countries have lagged way, way, way behind on that, and I'm not totally certain why. But at this point, France has approved use. South Africa has approved use. I know Brazil is still doing trials, that there's different countries in South America.
But why wouldn't they approve this? I mean, this is a little bit ridiculous. Like, this is something that is saving you.
It's complex. Some of it is political because other countries don't want to accept this research that was funded and started in America. So there's some political stuff about this. And then some of it, I think, is just stigmas. And it goes back to prejudice that I think women often experienced when birth control pills came out. That it was this idea that if you take a birth control pill that you're immoral, you're pathological, you are slutty. And I think we're seeing that in other countries as far as PrEP implementation as well. It's those people who could get AIDS are dirty or immoral or pathological, and we don't really want to support them or enable them in having proactive, responsible, and empowered pleasure.
Okay, wait, don't you think that this is a threat for the pharmaceutical industry, that they want people to get AIDS because that way they consume all their pills and products?
Well, that's another. So, I mean,
I thought about that.
That would be another reason why maybe PrEP has not gotten out there into the world the way I had hoped that it would, is because this will ultimately cut into the bottom line of the pharmaceutical companies if people are not becoming HIV positive anymore. And that the cost of preventing HIV is about a third the cost of treating HIV.
Exactly.
So,
this is what I was thinking.
You know, there's all of those factors that go into the fact that people don't know about this and people aren't using it. But thanks to you and thanks to the community of communication and the digital technology we use, people are hearing about it and they are learning about it. And the more you talk about it, the more I talk about it, the more it becomes normalized and people consider, maybe this is right for me.
Okay, now, quick question and then we're going to a break. What if I make a mistake and I just take 2 pills the same day? What happens?
There is some medical debate around whether 2 pills prior to having sex and potential exposure to HIV would be effective. There actually is a study that showed that when participants took only 2 pills 24 hours prior to having sex and then took 2 pills afterwards, that they actually had a lot of protection. And it's called the IPREX study. It was done in France.
Okay.
And nobody in that study became HIV positive when they took 2 pills 24 hours before having sex and then 2 pills 24 hours after. So we are still learning all this. This is still new. America CDC still recommends daily use for any man or any woman who's choosing to use this pill, but clearly there's some research that indicates that even if people use it more on demand, that there is some protection. Okay,
it's awesome that you filled me in with all this information. We're going to a super quick break, and I shall return. Please stay tuned.
your sun kiss with Salon DNA 415-956-1909.
Com biquínis, moda praia, íntima e fitness. Qualidade em um único lugar. Cancún Biquínis, 3242-4034.
Welcome back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, Uncensored Pillow Talk, and we're picking up the conversation with Damon Jacobs here. It's so interesting because people in this world have such a hard time relating. And not only that you're a therapist for marriages and relationships in general, but also you wrote 2 books. And I want to jump straight to that. One is Rational Relating, and the other one is Absolutely Shouldless. Congrats me, I remembered the names of the books.
Yay!
So tell me about this rational relating. What do you mean exactly by that? I read a little bit, but I want you to explain to our audience.
Well, Rational Relating, or The Smart Way to Stay Sane in the Crazy World of Love, is really a book geared towards couples or trouples or anyone who is in a relationship of any kind.
Trouples.
Interesting. Because there's often people who are together in threesomes or larger family partnerships who are seeking for tools and ways to enhance serenity and joy and pleasure in their lives and minimize the conflict and the stress and the jealousies and ruptures in trust, which inevitably come in relationships. So I wrote Rational Relating that was geared to help people create instead of conform, to find ways to be in relationships with other people that involve integrity, that involve communication, compassion, responsibility, and compromise. So that we can enjoy whatever form the relationship takes, that we can be in relationship with one another in a way that is honorable, that respects us, that respects others, knowing that we will make mistakes along the way. We are going to hurt inevitably, we sometimes hurt other people, and that happens. But we do not intentionally hurt others, and we do not knowingly do so if we have integrity in our relationships. If I'm going to say I'm a loving person, I don't do things to knowingly hurt the person I love.
Okay. Now, my curiosity, and this is just only from my perspective, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious out there about this. It's already complicated enough to be humans in this world with our complexities, psychologically, problems and our issues. Then we get to with another person that is complex as well, and we try to, have this intimate relationship. But then what about like a 3-way relationship? Do you think that in the long term that really works? It could be successful to be in an open marriage or relationship and everybody is happy and everything moves smoothly, because I think already it's enough work to be in a relationship and satisfy people's needs and serve them and love them and nurture them. Then on top of it, you bring a third one. You as a practitioner, as like all the experience you have, do you think that in long term that really works?
Absolutely.
To bring a third one?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because if 3 people are actively creating the way they need to create, it can work. I'm not saying it always does work. It's not always harmonious. And I don't know if they're always happy, but what we seek for is joy. Because joy is there even when there's conflict or stress or fear or jealousy. But when 3 people get together to create some sort of agreement, negotiation, and compromise that works well for them, with each person knowing I'm never going to get everything I want, but if we work together, we can find a way to coexist and we can be together. That could be really fun and really loving and really playful and joyful. And that, in a way, it's wonderful to know that there's 2 people in this world, not just 1, but 2, who really love you, who really have your back, who will help you if you're in trouble, who will take care of you if you're sick. These are wonderful qualities to have that have helped us to expand the spectrum of human relationships, not diminish it.
Okay. The second question, because we have to wrap it up to the end, Damon, unfortunately, because I really enjoyed talking with you, and I'm sure the audience does too. Absolutely Should Less. I read a little bit. I loved it. Should Less. What is this book based on?
This book is based on, at the time that I wrote it, about 10 years of therapy work, plus my own struggles with depression and anxiety when I was younger, realizing that most of what I suffered from was coming from my own head, my own shoulds about who I should be, or how the world should be, or judging others for not being who I thought they should be. And that was causing so much conflict and stress and isolation and misery in my life. And once I realized that the only thing that's really, really hurting me here are my rigid and inflexible ideas, I started to be able to change them and challenge them and experience my own body and experience other people in ways that were so much more satisfying and just so much more easier. I don't want to be a cop. I don't want to police the world. I don't want to practice shoulds everywhere I go. And if I do, if I have a should here and reality conflicts with that, that is where anger, resentment, frustration, and depression and hopelessness, and often substance abuse blow up.
Explodes. Yeah, the programs. We're so programmed in this life with so many things that we don't need. Your website for all the people that want to search him and read about him, the books and everything. What is your website?
People can find me at Damon L. Jacobs. Don't forget the L.
The L.
Damon L. Jacobs.
L of love. Hey, how can we forget?
And then on Facebook, my Prep Facts group page is still doing very, very well. It's large, and it's called Prep Facts Rethinking HIV Prevention and Sex. There's a lot of words in there. But Prep Facts Rethinking HIV Prevention and Sex. I am on there every single day answering questions and talking with people about PrEP, about sexuality, about being proactive, responsible, empowered, and pleasure, about their lives, if they choose to smoke, ways that they can have that pleasure and reduce harm, if they're having anal sex, ways that they can enjoy that pleasure and reduce harm. All at Prep Facts Rethinking HIV Prevention. And
Perfect. Last question, and we're closing. I know that we have a really short amount of time. What is the conference? What day?
December 3rd and 4th.
December 3rd and 4th. You can't miss him. He's adorable, at least to look at him. Look at this. Uncensored Pillow Talk. If anybody has questions, check the website. He's here with me, where he's going to go to the conference. So we'll catch up next week. Thank you so much for watching our show, and have a great time.
Thanks.